All right. All right, so I'm still kind of working these bugs out. So let's see. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. Can y'all hear me? Hello. I'll have to figure that out. Great. Great. Loud and clear. Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what happened there. That was, I hopped on a live stream, but it was making me one of the participants and not the person actually doing it. So I'll figure that out later. Anyway, hello. My name is Mark. I am the owner of Orbit DVD. We are back from Horror Hound. Had a great time there. Hello to you if I met you there. I had something done I had never done before. I met Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, and I had to, well, my wife talked me into this. Is basically painted my nails. So there we go. Yeah, lots of fun there. Painting my nails. I probably won't do it again. Anyway. I think the format I did a couple weeks ago is probably the way to go, which is I'm going to read through everything first, and then we will do the Q&A after that. And I'll scroll up and answer as many questions as I can. First of all, let's talk about our shipping lanes right now. So the entire planet is in a state of chaos, mostly due to and once again, this is talking about economics and not political, but the tariffs, especially the tariffs that have been added to smaller purchases that people have made for themselves. A good example is my daughter bought a pair of dancing shoes from England 6 months ago. They finally got delivered, or they were coming to her in about 2 weeks ago. They were $400 pairs of shoes, and they were trying to charge her $200. This is, I think, UPS. UPS is who we use mostly for international wholesale shipping. Basically, the companies mail everything to us UPS. We have found that they are the best, or I guess maybe in the best way to describe UPS is the least shitty. That's how I describe a lot of stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of everything out there. Everything is not really, this is awesome. I'm talking about programs or hardware or things like that. It's like, well, what's the least shitty? So UPS is still the least shitty shipping carrier out there. However, like we have found out back in April when we started getting charged with tariffs and that got worked out, UPS was not prepared. UPS was not prepared to handle the onslaught of having to bill people and collect money for small amounts of money. Now, small amounts, meaning $400 pairs of shoes, or I'm seeing $150 models and things like that. So records and whatnot. So the charges are definitely wrong as well. So I imagine there's lots of back and forth. My daughter tried desperately to say, hey, tariffs are not 50% from England. I think they're 10%, but they're not listening to anybody right now, and you can't even contact anybody. So what has happened is a snowball effect. The snowball is a tiny pebble or snowball on the top of the mountain that's been rolling downhill, and we are now caught up in that rolling downhill. We are seeing some not major delays. We're seeing delays in our disruption, I guess, in our usually scheduled shipping. We try to get shipping from England 3 days a week. That's still happening, but it's now being delayed anywhere from 2 days sometimes to 7 or 8 days, and especially if it's over a weekend. That also complicates things. So we've been waiting on a shipment for, I guess, about 5 days now. and it's going to be the weekend. So we're not going to see it until Monday if we are lucky. I forgot to turn this thing off. Let me answer this real quick. All right. So anyway, some of these new releases that have street dates, you know, it's going to be around the street date, we hope, or a little bit after or before. We saw that this week with going to be talking about some second sight things and whatnot. So just hang in there. What we have seen is UPS does work through these things and you know, hopefully hires people and we'll see what happens after that. All right, we do have one more event for the year. We are joining our buddy King Gorilla in Louisville, Kentucky on Saturday, October 11th at the Video Nasties Fest. This is VHS centric. We're bringing VHS with us, which we don't normally do. And it's going to be only for one day. It's at a place called Planet of the Tapes. And we're looking at fun. So come out and see us. If you're in the Louisville area, we ship a lot to Louisville, actually. So come by and say hello. We like seeing everybody. And that's basically it for the year. We're really going to be pulling back on a lot of these cons and things like that. We're still going to be doing horror hounds. We might do one or two more. It's just a lot of work. We really should be here shipping and taking care of other business. But anyway, we do love the conventions, but we're getting old and it's really wearing us out. So moving on to the used haul for the week. Everything here is going to go live at 5 p.m. These are things that we have bought from you. You have sent them to us, and we either give you cash or credit, however you want to do it. And this batch, I think the last time I showed stuff, the prices were pretty astronomically high. These are a little more in an affordable price range here. I think everything's out of print, though. Actually, no, not everything's out of print, but getting there. Start with this one. This actually is on the Lionsgate website right now, but this is the version of the 70th. This is a great set. Their first version of Third Man was not good, if you remember correctly, but this one's excellent. Of course, do you now? Oh, I do that. It is a steel book, and this is really great. These are going live at 5, by the way, if you're interested in these. Here is another one out of print. This is the Hemisphere Horrors. There we go. Hemisphere Horrors. Go up and over. Pretty cool. This one's probably not the format some of y'all want, but anyway, this is the Blu-ray lenticular slip of Tammy the T-Rex. So there you go. Oh, Tammy the T-Rex. There we go. All right. Daughters of Darkness. This is a brand new copy. Of course, Radiance is putting this out soon. Another lenticular. Oh, I've got a theme today. What we're noticing now is a lot of people are buying movies just to watch them, not really to keep them, and they're selling them back to us. They're selling them online or however you want to do it. We actually got a couple copies now of this one, which is the French Extremity Collection. Volume 1, right? Pretty cool. It's the most expensive one we have for the time here, but this is Umbrella's limited edition of The Raid. The Raid, there we go. So nice, The Raid. Beautiful shape, great condition. All right, great. Anyway, if there's anything that you want to trade or sell us, the best thing to do is make a stack of movies, take photos, just stack them like this, email them to webmail@orbidvd.com. That is webmail@orbidvd.com. We'll give you a quote. If you like that quote, you mail them in, and after a quality check, we will send you either cash or credit. So that is the used haul for the week. write one down I just saw a question about. All right. Moving on, pre-orders. Well, it's been a pretty busy week here for pre-order land. So let's get going here with Second Sight. Now this one, they're 2/3 there. I don't know what happened with the first film, but this just got announced today. But Maxine 4K and Pearl 4K limited edition from Second Sight. Those are now up on the website. Just got announced today. We also found out that we will be able to carry the A24 X Trilogy. So keep that in mind if you want something in a more shelf-saving space, I guess. We will have that up on the website soon to be able to pre-order. We also heard of another big title, Lionsgate, as well. And that should also be up on the website pretty soon. Let's just say it's this 30th anniversary of that one, or close to it. All right, moving on to our buddies at Def Crocodile. There's some good stuff coming out here. Alron and the Student of Prague. That's one release. And then this one, lots of interest in this one. I'm dying to see these, actually. I heard they're pretty great. The Norman Pfaffenbichler 2551 trilogy. That looks awesome. So that's going to be ready now. That's available for pre-order. Eddington Blu-ray, meaning the 4K from A24 is probably on their website, but the Blu-ray is available now. What is a 4K is Imprint's beautiful looking, my favorite Tarantino film actually is Jackie Brown. I haven't watched that in a while, but this is one of the hard box editions of that one. Howard's End 4K is coming out. Ilsa, Harlem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks 4K is also coming out, as well as the Ninja Trilogy, in case you want Ninja Trilogy in 4K. Also on 4K is from Severin, the Emmanuel Collection. That is with the 2 M's and not the 1 M. But anyway, the Emmanuel Collection. Wait, the Emmanuel Collection, 2 M's. Also 4K is the Warner Archives version of Curse of Frankenstein. We should be seeing the Hammer one before too long here. And then finally, a second volume of the Shawshock collection. That first set is incredible. It's going to be my favorite releases of the year, but this is volume 2. So plenty of pre-orders up on the website right now. So just get on there and you'll see for yourself. All right, new releases. Let's talk about new releases here. So I guess the big one for the week, a couple big ones. So actually, multiple big ones for the week. But let's start with Spawn. We got Spawn 4K available on the site right now. We put out the UK version of The Cat. UK version of The Cats. We're still working on maybe scraping from a warehouse floor, some US versions. But anyway, it's the same exact version of the film. It just has the little, I don't have a rating symbol near me right now, but it's just got the UK rating symbol on it, basically. The Pusher Trilogy from Second Sight. We finally got that out, but that came in a couple days late due to UPS being screwy. World Noir Volume 4. That one came out as well. It's a great series, by the way, if you've not collected those. Good, Bad, and the Ugly, the standard 4K version of that. Peking Opera Blues 4K. This is available in the UK, a 4K of Clown in the Cornfield if you want that. I believe this is BFI, but 2 limited sets, The Graduate 4K, and then the Man in the White Suit 4K. Shutter Island 4K, a limited set. I believe that's from Paramount. The Last Shark, if you must have another shark movie. This is actually a good shark movie, actually. Rami 4K from Blue Underground. We got in some 4Ks, media books, and a standard edition of The Surfer, the Nick Cage film. Got that one. From Criterion, we have Flow, Read My Lips, and The Beat That My Heart Skipped. Got those that came in. And then finally, let's top this one off with the Alfred Hitchcock Hour Season 1. Season 1. Lots of new releases up. We're putting more out, I think, tomorrow. We just sent out a bunch of pre-orders today, so keep that in mind. Anyway, just get on the website. You'll see under new releases what's out there. Restocks. Well, let's talk about Sony. Talk about Sony every freaking week. But anyway, we have been seeing restocks from Sony on key steelbooks and other titles about every 2 weeks. I am expecting more Panic Rooms, more Lawrence of Arabia's, more Trons, and more Night of the Living Deads. We don't have a timetable for that. It's just whenever our back order orders are fulfilled and they send them to us. But we're seeing, these Sony steelbooks coming in about every other day or so. So it's been great. This week was fun. With Night of the Living Dead, that's come and gone, but we should be seeing restocks of that. I'd say, not permanently, I guess, but regularly. We also, speaking of steelbooks, this one snuck in with us, through us, by us. Small Soldiers 4K steelbook restock came in. That one I thought was out of print, but here it is. We got it. And then finally, we just ran out of this, I think, earlier in the week, but we got more copies of Spinal Tap. We're hearing that the new movie kind of sucks. Of course, I didn't expect much out of that thing, but like the classic Spinal Tap, we got the restock in from Criterion. All right. Upcoming. These should be coming out tomorrow. And this is the BFI Nosferatu, the Herzog 4K with Klaus Kinski. That's going to be good. Hackers 4K coming out tomorrow. These got caught up in UPS land. They are stuck in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky is the black hole out there right now. It's not Newark, Jersey or New Jersey or anything like that. It is Louisville, Kentucky. If anybody's in Louisville, Kentucky, you need to get your UPS office working a little bit faster. Anyway, we are expecting, hopefully, at the top of the week, the Film Vault, Poltergeist, and The Shining. We'll do pre-orders first, and then we'll send out, then we'll have everything live on the site after that. And then finally, we've actually been sitting on these for about a month and a half. We're grumbling because they're big, they're expensive, they're heavy, they're Wes Anderson. So we have the Wes Anderson box sets, but we adhere to their street dates. So we're going to be shipping pre-orders out next week, and then we'll go live with what we have left for Wes Anderson on Thursday. Thursday is the goal for Wes Anderson, so keep that in mind. We do have an ample amount of copies for sale, and we're going to try to keep that in stock throughout Christmas. So that is everything that I need to tell you about. So I'm going to scroll up and then see what questions. Will you guys be getting the X 4K trilogy from A24? I just answered that. That answer is yes. Hey, Mark, I pre-ordered the Weapons Steelbook and I'm wondering if it's just a 4K or will it come blue as well. That I don't know. Hang on one second. I'm not seeing a listing for a combo, so I'm going to say no. I could be wrong about that, but it looks like it's just listed as 4K. So sorry about that. Weapons looks like it's just going to be 4K. All right. Did you happen to mention Wes Anderson? I just did. Any updates on you receiving the imprints to keep? Yeah, those are creeping towards fulfillment with us. So we will be getting those copies hopefully in the next week or two. We'll see what happens. Once again, it's just, I don't know what's going on with that. I do know that I think Imprint, I think was trying to really get it out if you bought direct from them. And of course they had all the shipping errors, problems and things on there. Excuse me. But we should be seeing those soon. They are collecting in our distributor's warehouse, and once we hit the number that we hit, we're going to get it. I'm going to drive myself crazy thinking about the 30th anniversary. It's probably not the 30th anniversary. Let's just say it is a very popular film that got some. Lionsgate got the rights. The filmmaker has been showing it around the country. Very popular film by this filmmaker, if that helps you. It's my favorite film by that filmmaker as well. Are you guys going to stock Universal's release of Alfred Hitchcock, The Ultimate Collection 4K? Comes out on October 14th. I'm trying to avoid that from Amazon. Yeah, we'll carry that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Universal doesn't really give us the best prices. So keep that in mind. We would love to do more business with Universal. They actually just jacked up their rates in the UK as well last year. And our sales of Universal branded product, meaning coming from Universal, has dropped. But yeah, we will keep that in stock. Does the 28 years later 4K not come with a slip? No slip. Slipless. Do you think we'll see the Sound of Music 4Ks before next week? It's too late. I mean, it's Friday. So we'll see it hopefully Monday. We'll see what happens. When are you guys putting up Excalibur for pre-order? When we get the information. Any restocks of Master and Commander UK non-steel version stuck in shipping somewhere? We are getting restocked from Master and Commander. Let me look at that real quick. Talks amongst yourselves. Let me see which version this is. I think this is a standard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're getting the standard Master and Commander that's being shipped to us right now from England by UPS. So what happens? These smaller shipments seem to be slipping through to us a lot faster. These larger ones are. So I expect to see that one Monday. And it's a decent amount. We so far, like I said multiple times, from Sony has given us everything we've asked for, just not exactly when we ask for it. So the things are on back order. Once again, it's just absolute hysteria right now for all these Sony titles. Of course, meaning Fox and Disney as well. So they're coming to us. They're just constantly just in a perpetual state of being shipped. So. And of course made. So there we go. Any update on Gator Bait? Yeah, I talked to Ryan last weekend at Hound. That's soon. The rest of the new releases from TerraVision is fulfilling to us as well as we speak. I should have written that down. I did not. So what was it? Arbor Day. What else? Anyway, those titles are being fulfilled. So we should be seeing those pretty soon. Kevin Schmidt asking us the eternal question: who is behind Sandpiper? Well, y'all are super loose out there, right? You can find out. We did ask our rep. Actually, we were curious ourselves. But my curiosity ends with a dead end. I'm not really that interested after that. The Dogma. Yes. No Saturday delivery. Saturday deliveries from UPS are rare. Whenever they've done them, the Saturday guy is not our guy. Our guy has a day off. So what happens is a lot of times the UPS Saturday driver sees our store not open. We open at 12 noon, even though we are there pulling orders, and they just drive on by. Even though I put notes in the order, I'm like going, "We're here, knock on the door." They just drive on by. So we have, and you can't really you can't really tell a shipment that's already happening, hey, we want to be delivered on Saturday. We've tried that route. It doesn't work. We've tried to go and picking it up. That also doesn't work. They don't like that. So unfortunately, we just have to wait. I know you guys put up Tron last Saturday. Well, it's because we got it on Friday. A lot of these, and we're going live with Nosferatu and Hackers tomorrow. That's basically its product that we get in on a Friday. If there's any like a lot of these are pre-orders that are mailed out on Friday, then we go live the next day. In the case of Tron, we just wanted it to kind of be set alone, because it was going to be a busy day for the shippers for that, and that's why we chose Saturday instead of a Friday. But we get shipped Monday to Friday, unless it's the mail. Some stuff we still get through the mail, and that can show up on Saturday sometimes. Can Orbit redesign your shopping cart so if I'm logged in, changes I make to my cart are visible across all PCs I may use? We'll ask about that. I think that because it's kind of, I like that personally myself, especially when I'm ordering stuff up here and then someone's ordering stuff down there. I think a lot of businesses, I think of this could be just an internet web thing. I think that's just the way it's all going, is separate carts per web or per computer. I'm not the biggest fan of that either, to be honest, but I'll see if that's something that can be changed or cannot be changed. Sometimes you can't change it, but I'll check. Any news on Sledgehammer? Yeah, it's being right now. Can you modify your fulfillment policy so that if I have an open order awaiting a pre-order item, I can place another order and have the new item stacked on my open pre-order? We cannot do that right now. We are changing everything as far as our pre-order process goes. Whether we will be able to add that feature or not, I cannot tell you. But it's going to make things a lot easier for us. If it makes things a lot easier for us, that will make things a lot easier for you. So a good example is we are going to play around with hovering. You'll be able to hover over the pre-order and see what the street date is. I think that's going to be very helpful for a lot of people. Just so you can bundle stuff together. Now, of course, street dates change, so that can be a factor as well. But anyway, I like that idea as far as changing your cart. We actually have batted that around. We actually have hired an app team for the pre-order. They actually do the pre-order app, but we're getting a lot of customization made, and that's something we could perhaps suggest to them, and we'll see. As it stands right now, is basically every order is based on your ticket, which it works, but it's time consuming our end. In the future, the pre-orders will be based on the product, if you follow what I'm saying. So basically your names are not going to be attached to anything until your last pre-order comes in, and then it will fulfill it. There's going to be no paperwork on our end until the last pre-order comes in. So I'd say just wait and see. That's something I can bring up to people, but we need to first cycle out of our current pre-order process and then introduce the new pre-order process. And when that happens, we can start playing with the tinker around with the machine a little bit and see what kind of cool stuff we can do with it. Were you able to ask Don May about the Lenora upgrade? Yeah, it's not happening. I think the elements are bad. It's not happening. Do you know if Sony are going to offer the Luc Besson 4Ks as individual title releases and not just the 9 title box set? I could see them doing that, because it being Sony. There's actually some stuff in that, that first film, that sort of post-apocalyptic film. I forget what it's called, but like I love that one. It was a great renter for us when we had the rental store. I would love to see that on 4K by itself. Now, some of that stuff, of course, is already on 4K, but yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, but that'd be nice, huh? UPS has sucked ever since I quit, except for our guy Scott. Scott's awesome. Never quit, Scott. Don't leave us, please. We give you Cokes and let you use the bathroom. Any news on Remo Williams and or Salem's Lot 4K? I haven't heard anything on my level. For my information, Vinegar Syndrome allows stacking new orders on top of open pre-orders. Right. Yeah. And you know, they have the luxury of having just Vinegar Syndrome product. We of course have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of product. So once again, we the way that we're doing pre-orders now, we cannot let that happen because it's kind of a logistical nightmare for us. We are changing that. It is changing. So once again, just patience. Any plans of listing numbers, remaining copies left on your website? They all say one. It's all one. Just assume there's one of everything. You better buy it now. Buy it now. Yeah, I better that idea around. Let's just say that internally that there's been a discussion about that. I see the pluses and minuses of both. You know, if you see that we have a few hundred or something, you know, for instance, you know, you might be less inclined to buy it, and then it just doesn't move. You know, which I don't think that's going to happen too much, but you know, it will definitely help sales if we're down to say 10 of something. I wish that we kind of maybe had that option when the Night of the Living Dead dropped a couple days ago. I feel that, you know, if people saw it, I mean, you're going to buy it anyway. And maybe that's not the best scenario. Maybe the cat is a better scenario. You know, we say you see 30 copies left of the cat, you can go, oh shit, I need to buy that now. So I think anything that is selling steadily, I think that a number-based system is very good. You know, also, like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people got caught browsing for other titles with Night of the Living Dead, and then it sold out on them. I think if they saw those down below 50 or 100, that they probably would be a little more proactive and getting that title. I would say I'm willing to explore that, to give you an answer. Do you know if Nightmare on Elm Street, just a standard set, would ship early? As would the straight at 9:30? So major studio domestic releases we usually see a few days before, so we get the pre-orders out and things like that. So I'd say we're probably in line for next week for that. It might be now it's going to be fourth quarter. This is kind of our Christmas right now, if you think about it, all the horror releases and things like that. So we're starting to see some titles they're delayed a few days. But I kind of expect that to be coming pretty soon. Pick up anything cool at Horror Hound? Not the Rona. It looks like I think we skated past that. We need to get our shot here pretty soon. But there's a lot of sweaty people there. I'm hoping that they were just sweaty and not sick. But yeah. I had Geezer Butler sign an 8-track for me. I should have brought it with me. The Volume 4 8-track, I think, does the most, like the prettiest cover for him to sign of Ozzy doing the peace sign there. And I had a copy of Iron Angels 1-3, the limited edition set, and I traded a beautiful, and I missed out on this one, the Mondo Zardoz poster. So I traded the Mondo. He had the Mondo poster, and I traded for the Iron Angel. He wanted Iron Angel. So did a one-on-one trade there. Yes. Love the new website, except for the used section not having a visual representation of new editions. You think they'll get them and running? Yes. So that absolutely, that's on our radar. I'll repeat myself that what I said a couple weeks ago. I love it. I want it. Our computer guy is working on it. He's doing it. So we just got to do some stress tests and be good to go. Pretty much all the things I showed you earlier for the used haul today are new listings. So you can actually sort those by new listings, and these will pop up. But yes, I definitely want that function, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it. So just bear with us. The 2 Trons arrived yesterday. Thanks as always for crack shipping team. Yeah, no problem. Get those out on the day one. That was great. When is Kino Cold Ilsa She-Wolf for the SS going to arrive? I think soon, right? It's October release. Correctly? Yeah. Wasn't there talk for a loyalty program for rewards at one time? Yeah, and that's still on that's still in discussion. We just need to figure out how to frame it. And there's also something we want to do that will encompass both the website, you guys, the online customers, and our in-store customers, especially the people that are doing video games and things like that. So whenever I get an idea to do something, I do some research. Sometimes I hit dead ends, and then I realize I need to move on to something else. And then let's just say I don't forget about it, but it just gets put on the back burner. So let me, I'll do some more research on that. Yeah, and I would love to do something, like say you get a percentage of credit for trades, or used items, you can get more. And of course, you build points to be able to buy new items on the website, like the standard loyalty type thing. I'm all for that. I got my Panic Room 4K Steelbook yesterday. Thank you for preventing me from paying around $100 on eBay. Stupid scalpers. Yeah, and I'm saying this to absolutely everybody. Like on Reddit forums and whatnot, is like in Facebook groups. I'm like going with Sony movies. Do not pay eBay prices for these things. They are cranking them out as fast as they can. The problem is it's only Sony these days, right? So it's Sony handles Sony. Fox and Disney, so there's a lot of product out there, and like the demand for these titles are so high, they're just constantly being repressed and things like that. So and they're throwing Fright Night back in the mix. Remember, like that's coming out pretty soon. So the Steelbook of Fright Night is also coming back out. So please do not exhaust your options, even if it's not me, of just paying the retail price for these Sony titles. Panic Room, Lawrence of Arabia, it's going to be Night of the Living Dead. People will be talking about that. Of course, Tron. They are making as many of those as they can. So just patience. That's really what it is just patience. I'm hearing that the Night of the Juggler 4K Kino has an error with a repeated scene. Apparently the Radiance does not, and the new 1999 The Living Dead 4K has an audio dropout. Haven't heard anything about it. Well, I did hear about the screening of Night of the Juggler. Whether that's the Kino print and Kino fix that, I don't know. I can maybe ask that question with them. But as far as an audio dropout with Not Living Dead, I haven't heard that yet. I mean, people this order from us might be some of the first people to get it. So we'll find out what happens there. And of course, Sony will take care of it if there's an audio dropout. Are you guys getting more Night of the Living Dead Steelbooks? Yes. Another Sony question. You've already mentioned UK Master and Commander restocking the standard. Yes, that's coming. But is there any hope for getting a restock of the US Steel restock? Of course. Yes. I do expect more. Do putting things on your wish list and signing up for an in-stock notification have any effect on of having a title restocked? No, I mean, like our MO is we're going to keep stuff restocked until we can't stock it anymore, or just till it completely dies on us. So anything that's popular, of course, is always going to be restocked until everybody's happy, and then they quit buying it. So no. Now we do. It's the back of stock notifications. We do look at those reports. A lot of it's titles that are just gone. So a good example is Good, Bad, and the Ugly limited edition, or Dark City, things that are hundreds and hundreds of back in stock notifications for. They're not coming back. So at least in enough numbers for us to sell on the website. So we do look at those reports, but most of them are just things that are just not going to be coming back to us. But what happened though is 6 months ago people got a back in stock notification for Panic Room, and we got in. Let's say just the initial restock a few weeks ago was 100 copies, and all those people got a back in stock notification. And also Fistful of Dollars. We put another, say, 300 copies live on the site, and everybody that signed up for a Fistful of Dollars back in stock notice got that. All right, you're talking about the dropout is for the Not Living Dead 90 is the Atmos track. I understand 2.0 is fine. And then you say it's crazy that these folks don't QC these discs better. Yeah, imagine how hard that is. This over and over again. The rumor we heard that the 2-month delay for Good, Bad, and the Ugly is they just kept finding errors with it. So I wonder if there's like a program that can be written that can just run these things through. I mean, how many audio options are there now? It's insane, right? Like there's a billion audio options, it seems like, on these discs, and you got to run through every single one of them. Here's one problem that I have when I deep dive in the use section. There's no pages, just endless scroll. The problem is if I click on the title for more info, when I go back to shopping and scroll all the way back down, so going back to page 6. Okay, that's valid. Charles, I don't know if you're on right now, but we'll look into that. Now then, we're all using our phones to go through these websites, so I understand that. You have that right-click, open link and new tab function. That might be available on the phones. But anyway, maybe try that. I don't want to say something negative without saying something positive too. I purchase with you guys pretty frequently. I also come in the store quite a bit. Thank you very much. Orbit's an excellent place to buy from. Great. And honestly, there's no negatives here. I mean, if there's something you don't like about us, including the website or whatever, feel free to voice your concerns. That's what we want. We want to, and the website's brand new, kind of like at least this new version. We're under 2 months of it, so there's kinks to work out. There's lots of stuff that we're trying to work out with it, but it's an endless possibilities. It's a huge sandbox that we can play with now that can only help you. So I voice concerns, give us positive feedback, negative feedback, all that stuff is valid, and that's about anything. I don't mind. I've never minded constructive negative reviews, to be honest, because it tells us that the customer is upset about something. So it's a positive thing ultimately as a business owner, a store owner especially, to hear that stuff. Now then, a lot of the negative reviews are people that are just lashing out like children sometimes. So those are fun, but please give us your opinion. We'd be getting individual releases of Death of the Nile and Evil Under the Sun 4K, or you just have a 4-movie Agatha Christie collection that can see available for pre-order. Once that information is put up, we do see, if you notice with us, if there is individual titles being released in a box set, we do make those available. So that information just probably hasn't been conveyed by Studio Canal to us yet, if they even plan on doing it. If they are, we will have that up available for pre-order. Okay, yeah. So Zach of the Disc is repeating what someone else said for the used stuff about the scrolling. Yeah, we'll address that for sure. Really looking forward to Silverado 4K. Me too. Absolutely. I'm hoping Severin breaks up the Emmanuel package. Maybe. We really haven't seen them break up too much other of these titles. Like a few things here and there. Emmanuel though, like that's probably enough. A small amount of titles enough to break up, I guess. Okay, Zach that is just repeating about the scrolling the pages or just one page. Yeah. Both you guys are saying the same thing. So that is once again that's a valid point, and I'm going to let our computer guy look at that. So. Mm-hmm. To start purchasing from the website this year, March. I've done 22 separate orders just this year. I didn't like the new site at first, but I did once I got used to it. Yeah, it took us a while to get used to it too. We were set in our ways, and we liked the way we were doing things, but we were proven and shown that the way that we're doing things now is better for our visibility on the internet. So yeah, we're on board as well. Yeah, we're big fans of it, and excited to see where we can take it next. Is it the realm of possibilities to tag an order so it's not shipped immediately? You guys are very good at restocking. It's happened to me. I make an order for 3 items to get free shipping. The next day, something I was looking for pops up. But since my order already shipped, I can't add the item to my order. Yeah. That is okay. So back in when we did eBay sales, we mailed a package to a guy in Australia, and he wanted to send it back to us, but we shipped it the next day. We shipped it literally the next day that he ordered it, and he left us a bad review because the review was, this place ships too fast. Orbit ships too fast. So we got a negative review over it, and that's you're once again your thing is valid. However, your question kind of mirrors what another guy is saying about adding something to pre-orders and then having that stuff shipped out together. All that's kind of connected a little bit. So once again, once we really change how we're doing our pre-orders and orders and all that stuff, then we're going to start looking at the sandbox and what we can do to make things easier for you. So yeah, I say just hang in there. I would just say to give you a timeline, the shippers mostly work 8 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. So if you order something overnight, that's, and then you find something else, that really doesn't work. We do hold shipments from people, but if it's a constant hold, then that's not really going to work for us. So let's just say wait and see. Did you guys have to purchase a separate store space for the imprints to keep? No, we made an eventual agreement with Vinegar Syndrome. We weren't going to carry it, but we are going to honor the pre-orders that we had beforehand. So we don't have that many copies of it. We might have a couple in the store, but it's not going to be made live on the site. So no, we're fine. They're going right out the door. I wonder why Second Sight didn't do an X limited edition to go with the others. It just depends. It's a rights issue, I imagine. I don't want to second guess any of these labels' decisions, but imagine Arrow putting out for a few dollars more and Good, Bad, and the Ugly and not Fistful of Dollars. Now then, I'm not saying that the Man with No Name trilogy is the same as the X trilogy, but it kind of is. If you're a fan of all three, you want all three, and you want them all similar. Second Sight might be working to get the rights to X, and that might be a later release. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this one goes. Mainly just the availability 4Ks of X around the world. People love was it Cape Light put that out? The people absolutely love the steelbook releases of those from Germany, and I'm kind of curious to see if people, I call it lateral moves. You're not upgrading from a Blu-ray or DVD to a 4K. You already have a 4K, and will you buy another version of that 4K? So I'm kind of curious to see how many people buy the. I could see more people buying the Lionsgate A24 set over the Second Sight set. But then, Second Sight has their built-in fan base as well. So it'll probably still sell well. But I'm very curious about it myself. What amount of wish list do you guys look for before even thinking about getting more of that item? Well, I mean, we're getting more of that item, and that's basically so. The wish list is a good guide. It's more of a guide for you than for us, but for us, it's numbers. It's like a good example is for a long time the limited edition 4K of Donnie Darko from England was at a very affordable price. Actually, it was cheaper than the U.S. standard edition for a long time, maybe years. So it just, it sold pretty well here and there, a couple times a week, and then just us doing reporting, we see these numbers bumping up. So it's like, instead of getting a few copies of Donnie Darko, let's get a dozen. Oh, those sold out in a few days. Let's get 20. If you understand what I'm saying, for us, it's a numbers game as far as reports go, and less of like the back in stock and wish list thing. Those do definitely come into play, but a lot of times it's basically just what's selling. We order 3 times a week from our major distributor in England, and we order from other distributors in England as well. And we see the data. That's basically it. All right, so we're continuing on a conversation about the keep and Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, so if you don't know what happened with me and Vinegar Syndrome, we had a bit of a tiff a few months ago. They did not want me carrying that imprint copy of the keep. I said I have every legal right to do so. So I said that I was not going to carry any more Vinegar Syndrome product. That information got leaked online, and you can watch YouTube videos about that. So anyway, me and Vinegar Syndrome had a sit down basically, and we both like each other. It's business. I'm not angry at anybody here, and we came to an agreement. The only thing that we're not going to be carrying that they carry is the keep. I'm as protective about the keep, or I think the keep is their master at every version of it around the world. So we're not going to carry the keep. I'm willing to give. And they've been great. They've always been great. Let me put it that way. But we had a sale with them a couple weeks ago that went very, very well. So more great things to come. And there's actually going to be some more interesting partnerships with, I believe, me and Jesse and Vinegar Syndrome coming up in the near future. So some very, very good stuff happening. So yeah, it's more exciting, things happening with us and Vinegar Syndrome. But we're carrying everything else. When will a link be provided for stocked books and book pre-orders? We do book pre-orders. We do. There's more of the limited to the movie reference type stuff. So we did the David Cronenberg book. Is a David Lynch book that we just put out. The new Hellbore is up for pre-order, which is a great Wiccan pagan zine that we carry from the UK. So that they're still happening. I wish Lionsgate Limited will let you guys get their stuff, hoping eventually they'll break down and do that. I honestly, what I'm hearing from Lionsgate is they're doing, or from fans, is they're doing a great job. They're packing well, and so far so good. But yeah, I agree with you. I would love to get Lionsgate direct from them and resell it, because they got some awesome stuff. Like the the US version of May. What else they have? I really wanted. I forgot what it was. Yeah, some really really great items on there. Oh, some well, that May is part of the Vestron series, but yeah. Unwilling to buy dented steel books from Amazon. Chances that all of these Amazon exclusive steel books will eventually go wide. Never say never. We've seen some stuff in the past. I think mainly Shout Factory titles and things like that. I mean, who knows? Oh, yeah, you mentioned Scream Factory. Yeah. I think there was a Return of the Living Dead that we were able to get after about a year. Of course, now if they completely sell out of something, then that's it, I guess. How do you feel about the prices on those upcoming Imprint releases? It seems like they keep jacking up their prices. It's crazy close to $100 for Last Seduction. Yeah, it's like, and it was like Bridge Too Far was hitting 100, maybe 90, and I'm like going, there's no way anybody's going to buy these. Well, they bought it. So I think there will be a reckoning, I guess. But keep in mind, and Don May was actually great with this information. Like what we had something there. Oh, Creepshow 2. And Don actually broke down the prices for everything involved with the Creepshow 2 release, the disc, the book. Okay. Connection break there. Sorry. I'm deep in a red brick building, by the way. Don May broke down Creepshow 2 to me. The hard box, shrink wrap, book, disc, all that stuff. Case. Now then, you also deal with different countries. So, of course, anything in Europe is, using, I think, Austria and Poland for a lot of that. The U.S. is using Mexico and China for a lot of that. From what I remember with Australia, it's like everything's in-house. I think everything is being made in Australia. That could have changed. I'm not quite sure, but costs are going up everywhere for this stuff, just due to the, like I said, disruption, tariffs, all that thing. So we'll see what happens with Imprint. I mean, like those prices are, I couldn't believe the Never Ending Story Steelbook. That is outrageous. And then also, the one thing I did turn down, I just flat out turned it down, was the Led Zeppelin steel book. Our cost was close to the Imprint prices. Our cost. And then we usually add like 20, we try to aim for 20% on top of that. I'm not carrying that. I refuse. Speaking of sales, what are the chances you could take part in the Criterion 50% sales when they do those? I asked. It doesn't hurt to ask. They said no. I think we could do it. I think we could. I'll keep asking. Our sales for Criterion, so we started ordering direct from them last year. They're going up and up. They're doing great. And if we can come back with more and more numbers from them, and hearing from you guys too. I mean, feel free to, if they make a public post, Criterion, not Barnes and Noble, Criterion mentions a sale, say, hey, I'm a big fan of Orbit. I'd love to see a sale on there sometime. The powers that be, my contact with Criterion is awesome, by the way. I love them to death. But the powers that be, the people above them need to know that Orbit can do it. And I know Orbit can do it. I want to prove it. Speaking of Vinegar Syndrome, are you guys getting the new stock in soon? Yeah, it's on the way to us. Did you see the Imprint Silent Night, Daily Night box set? Okay, yeah. So that one is like, it's like, okay, I like that one. I like that one. So even though most of us have got the two films, that's a nice set. So yeah, I do expect that to sell very well. That one might be a justifiable price, but once again, once we get that information, we will put it up on the site. Have you considered importing more Japanese releases with English subtitles? I like the Typhoon Club Blu-ray. It's probably better than the 4K version that we got here. Yeah, we have been scrounging for a contact in Japan for years. It's a different economy. It's a different way of doing things over there, and it's not the easiest nut to crack. We did ask. It took us years to find a German contact, and he actually has a Japanese contact, but that person never responded to us. We tried emailing about every 6 months. We never like bugging people, but like we never got a response. We might have another way in. We just found out last week, so we're gonna try that route too. I would love to carry Japanese titles. It looks like that. I guess maybe outside of Play Asia, it's not too many options out there for that. I don't even know if demand's good enough or not. We'll see what happens. We're desperately trying to find it for, of course, Shin Godzilla. That's a big one, but I would like to carry stuff from everywhere. Scandinavia has a boutique business up there. It's like, let's try to find those people. And bring that stuff in. I know of another retailer where you can place an order with both in-stock and pre-order items on the same ticket. They tend to ship out the in-stock items immediately, and then ship out the pre-order when they receive it. Is that something you guys consider doing in the future? If you want to get charged shipping, like the system we have set up right now is, you get the 3 free shipping, medium mail shipping, if you buy 3 or more items. That breaks apart on our end after we got to ship the 3 together for the price of shipping the 3 items is not much higher than shipping 1 item. So if you break up the 3 items into 3 separate shipments, that destroys whatever markup that we're getting off of these. But to answer some other questions, there's other questions up above about changing of baskets and things like that. Once we switch over to our new pre-order system, there might be the ability to change everything. So never say never. Any chance you'll carry error 4444 titles? I need an orbit size buffer for these. We love those guys. Those guys are awesome. A lot of the staff has a decent amount of their titles personally in their collection, myself included. But their business model is basically almost strictly themselves. And I don't blame them for that. If you capture people on your website, and capture might be a wrong way of saying it. If people are going to your dedicated website to buy your movies, you've won. Like, Vinegar Syndrome is great at that. I think Severn's great at that. And Error 4444 is great at that. So we communicate with them occasionally, and we've always promised to do business. We did get some of the initial titles of theirs once or twice. They were only standards; they weren't limited, and they sold out immediately. But we like consistency, and they can't provide that. It's not their fault at all. They like I said, they're doing it the way they're doing it, and maybe in the future, like Lionsgate Limited, we can work something out with them. But for the time being, they got a great website. Thank you again for moving to YouTube. Yeah, this has been great. So far, so good. Although running into some hiccups here. We got a streaming computer with a little bit of lag with the microphone aspect or the audio. So we're going to fix that. And then I just flubbed this live thing. The first few times I did it was great, but then I couldn't log on as the host for the live stream that I set up earlier today. So I had to hop over. I missed out on the Shawshank Horror Volume 1 box set. Are you getting more? I think that's out of print. There might be there'll be a standard coming out, I think. And then we'll probably see a decent amount of used copies coming in, or sometimes even new copies come in from people. Now that you mentioned the shipping, would it be possible to also get free shipping based on the value of the order? I think maybe having two systems like that is going to be confusing. When we've set up, we're like going, what can we do that's a little different, and that's what we did. And we stuck with it, and y'all stuck with it, and it's been great. I would say that probably, if you're dealing with monetary value, as far as free shipping goes, the issue you run into sometimes is margins. So the margins might not be, you might only get a 10% margin on an item, even being like $100 item or so, and that really cuts into the shipping costs and things like that. So that's probably the reason right now. That's something that I've also thought about. Also, once again, dealing with economics, we don't know exactly what's going to be happening. There's been no rumblings about this, by the way, but the shipping, will media mail shipping still be available 5 years from now? Who knows? Might be best just go ahead and switch over to a new method before that anything gets erased. There's been no talk about that, by the way, but I'm always thinking about what could happen in the world out there. Is the Nightmare on Elm Street Steelbook collection limited to 4,000 or 10,000? I don't have an answer. I don't know. I do know that we have yet to see any problems with any previous Warner Brother titles, especially steelbooks, except for maybe Superman. Like a good example is the James Bond box set, the Sean Connery one. Is we could get restocked with that. Seems endlessly. Nightmare on Elm Street, that set that came out last year, no problem. So I don't see there being an issue with that. I think if it is indeed limited. I think we should see it live on everybody's sites at least until Christmas. I'm kind of curious myself about that. We've had no problem procuring extra copies. We went through our initial run very quickly of the pre-orders, and we asked for more, and we were guaranteed more. So we'll see what happens. Any chance of carrying Discotheque anime and live action titles? Love that company. Love the titles. I really want Belladonna. Big fan of that. Suicide Club. They absolutely will not respond to me. They will not. I've tried it. Now that one, even with Dead Ends, I have tried every single angle to contact Discotheque. Everything. Publicly. Every social media. I even type a letter, I can't remember, and mailed it in. They're being distributed by Crunchyroll. More Dead Ends. I got kicked up to higher chains of command there, and then nothing. So I tried, and when if they don't want to work with me, that's fine. I'm good. So I'm moving on, and keep dreaming of Belladonna. Using a wired Ethernet. Yeah. You're right. We're using a Nest system up here, and it's just basically just having to spend some money and get some more things happening. Their Belladonna 4K is trash. If you get your hands on the UK Limited, do it. Oh, yeah, I own it. I got that one. Is there any chance of getting the Pearl 4K media book from Turbine Cover A that they're selling? Some of us are still prefer this version with the other announcements this week. Yeah, we'll look into it. Yeah, I don't see that being a problem. The Pearl, like the X media books, the trilogy stuff's done very well. Yeah, Arrow teasing Excalibur, that was, definitely on my bucket list as far as like what would be a great Arrow title, and I'm very happy that's happening. All right. Well, I'm going to kill it actually. So thanks for hopping on, everybody. I will see you next week on Thursdays, and we'll talk again. I might try to. I'm trying to answer questions of the week, but the questions are all the same past few weeks, and it's all Sony. Just to repeat, Sony Steelbooks, a lot of those are not sold out. We will get restocks every week, every 2 weeks. Who knows what happens? So I will, once I get enough questions, I'll answer more questions out there. But anyway, have a great weekend and take care.